Okay, we're now with the Arts Commission, and Councilman Stein is with us. And Jen, if you could introduce yourself, your colleagues, and then make your budget presentation, I'd appreciate it.
Sure. I'm Jennifer Cole, the Executive Director of the Metro Arts Commission. And to my left, I have Paula Roberts, who's the Chair of our Commission, and to my right, Ian Myers, our Finance Analyst. I wanted to start first by thanking the administration for all it's done in the last handful of years to really grow our cultural landscape in the city, particularly direct investments like the Hall of Fame expansion and Music Makes Us and the Ryman Lofts have been able to leverage untold amounts of private investment in our cultural life, and I think have really built the spirit of arts in the community. Like all departments, we will make the 3% cut if requested of us. I'd like to share, though, for a second what we've been able to do with that amount of money in the last year, just to kind of give a perspective on the impact that amount of money can have in a department small like ours. $72,100 is a 3% cut for our department, and that's roughly equivalent to the same annual investment that we make in both the Film Festival and the Children's Theater, both of whom are longstanding institutions in our community and are leaders in their fields nationally. It's the equivalent of what we paid for 7 new artist-designed bike racks, which have helped spearhead a national model program in public art and have led to jobs for lots of Nashvillians. And with just a little bit more money than that, $80,000, we were able to fund 19 community and after-school arts programs last year that engaged 11,000 people, most of which were at-risk youth in the NASA program. Most of the money allocated to Metro Arts, as you all know, goes directly back to taxpayers in the form of community grants and has uncalculable ROI. My budget presentation has a handful of additions and requests for additions this year, and I think that as a community, we would love your consideration to double down on arts funding, I think for a couple of reasons. One is that the city is changing. You all know, and we know very definitively, that the population is growing quickly and diversifying. Metro Arts needs to be able to reflect the neighborhoods that we live and work in the county and all the council districts that really lack, at this point, galleries, theaters, performance spaces, and cultural nonprofits. The flexibility would allow us to give more money into communities that lack that infrastructure, and more broadly, it reflect the population that we have and the population that we'll have in the future. The second is one I'm really excited about, which is that Nashville is basically electric. We're on fire. We have new artists coming all the time and new creative businesses with emerging places like Oz Brave New Art, the explosion of the Wedgwood Houston Arts District, and the renaissance of the fashion industry here in Music City. We really need to invest in a broader cultural landscape than we have historically. Just 2 weeks ago, I worked with Money Magazine and the CVC on an article specifically dedicated to our visual art scene. And this weekend, I'm going to be meeting with leaders from the Council of Fashion Designers of America to talk about the feasibility of a fashion incubator program here in Nashville, the only one outside of LA and New York. More and more, we're a global destination for all types of creative products. And that means as a city, and leading through investments in the Arts Commission, we have to change our strategy, investment strategy, and policy tools that help us expand and keep the creative class here. The city has had a per capita investment of about $4.12 in the arts, and that's hovered around the same for about 10 years. Portland, Charlotte, other competitive cities are in doing investments at almost three times that rate. So our budget requests do a little bit in moving the needle on that, specifically helping us get money into more neighborhoods, do arts direct programming in neighborhoods that lack infrastructure, continue to support arts education, and continue to grow direct artist support, things that we think will respond better to the changing city and the changing demographic. The reality is that the Nowville that you've helped build, Mayor Dean, is a collision of smart people and good investments and raw creativity, and we're really excited to work with the administration to continue to do that and expand that, and we hope that you'll consider the investments that we've asked for in the budget request.
Okay, well, specifically, where would that money go?
Specifically, it would go into a couple of things. We've explored the development of a new mobile cultural arts website that would allow us to put galleries, cultural destinations, and public art all on a mobile platform that we could link with the Convention and Visitors Bureau, a parallel program to their music events piece that they have. It would go into some microfunding programs into underfunded neighborhoods right now and underfunded art forms and cultural forms. It would help us expand expand Arttober. Arttober's been hugely successful for the last handful of years, engaging about 400,000 people in arts activities throughout the county. It would help us do pop-up activities and direct engagement of artists in neighborhoods that are underserved by the arts. And it would help us look at new funding models like the Fashion Incubator or artist training programs like we're doing in conjunction with the EC and the Arts and Business Council right now. So it would really be about pushing out.
Okay, can you tell us how many pieces of public art we now have in the city?
We now have more than 30. That's about a 700% growth rate since during my tenure in terms of art that was and art that now is. And we have more than a dozen now in either planning or design or nearing installation.
And what's the schedule for the public art related to the convention center?
To the roundabout, you mean?
Yeah.
We met with TDOT last week. We have preliminary approval to move forward on that. We need to first complete a traffic study, resubmit that to TDOT, and then we'll be able to negotiate a lease of the land. So we're hoping to be able to finish that traffic study piece by summer, and then we'll be able to move on. The artist's contract is ready and pending. He can begin design as soon as we're through that approval process.
So when will we see something?
I'm hoping next summer.
Hoping.
I'm hoping.
How does the grant funding, how has that gone, and what sort of awards have you made?
Well, last year we made more than 79 awards to 51 different organizations. The grant funding pool itself has been relatively flat for the last handful of years. I think where we've made great strides is in arts education and in what we call arts access, which are programs that really bring arts to those populations like seniors, low-income individuals, bilingual individuals, really pushing that art, those programs out into the community. We've seen double-digit increases in the request amounts. Like, for example, this year we have $4 million in requests. If we were fully funded every request that we had, and we've had new groups coming in all the time seeking funding. So I think the grants program is a place where we have huge opportunity to expand both with diversity and with impact, and where there's a clear growth area in terms of the types of organizations coming and seeking funding for all different types of programs. Some of the great things that we've been excited about is the creation grants that we fund, which are new works grants. For example, we helped partially fund the new Ben Folds Concerto and the collaboration that they're doing with the ballet. That type of funding really helps cultural organizations do new and progressive work that they might not normally have and be able to support, which I think really extends the brand of the city as a real creative place.
What's the plans for Arttober this October?
We have a lot going on, actually. We will continue to do the pop-up programming that we have. We've stipended artists the last several years to do programming in unique places like the library. We did a partnership with the libraries and several artists last year called Art of the Word, which we hope to expand in more library branches. We're exploring some mobile marketing and sort of a pop-up art gallery that might maybe drive around for folks to be in the neighborhood. And we'll continue to sort of work with emerging arts neighborhoods like Hip Donaldson and Wedgwood Houston to kind of bring more attention to the arts infrastructure that's everywhere in the city.
Okay.
First, we need to get through the Americans for the Arts Convention, though, which we're super excited about.
When's that?
It's in June, the middle of June, between CMAs and Bonnaroo.
Good time to do it.
It's a good time to do it. We'll have about 1,200 arts leaders and thinkers, arts philanthropy folks here coming to town for a handful of days for a national convention, and we're real excited about that.
And then can you tell the viewing audience about the Civil Rights Project and where we are on that and what
Sure.
the projected timelines are on that?
Sure. We're really excited to have chosen California-based artist Walter Hood to complete that piece. We're in contract negotiations with him now. That should be done by the end of spring. We'll then have a series of public meetings and public engagement sessions, probably sometime this summer. And once Walter is done with that public engagement, we'll continue to inform the design. We'd hope to have finalized any changes he wants to make to the design or additions to the design and structural pieces by fall, and then installation within about a year. So again, late spring, early summer of next year. Really excited. He's a fantastic artist, really well respected in the field and known for his community engagement. I think we've heard nothing but positive comments from civil rights veterans, and we're real excited about moving forward.
Where's it going, and what does it look like?
It'll go on the corner of 3rd and James Robertson, outside Mr. Rieblin's window, and it consists of a series of 5 concrete walls that are sort of broken and have photo images from the Nashville Civil Rights Reading Room that will be impressed upon them with the new technology in concrete. And then one of the things Mr. Hood will gather from the community input are quotes and narrative stories that might go along with the photographs. We're actually going along this week to ask the State Arts Commission for some additional funding for classroom curricula that we would then develop alongside that. So the hope, again, being that it's not just a piece of public art, but that it's a new way for teachers and families to sort of understand and interpret our history.
Okay. Great.
You probably said this, but I missed it. So the grants that we awarded, what's the total amount of money that we award in grants?
It's about $1.8 million,
okay.
1.8 and change.
Okay. I'm sure you said it. I just missed it. That's all I have.
Rich?
Yes, sir.
Great. Well, thanks for another great year. I appreciate the wonderful work you do and all the members of the commission for what they do. And look forward to better things to come. So great.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for all you do.